together to get that kill onto this man. So they've lost their big EMP. They've lost their health pack control, which you can still see Cloud9 kind of sitting around, at least towards the cafe section. And so far, Cloud9 have repelled this attack. Yeah,
Movistar backing away there as well. neptuNo clearly seems to be the core of their composition here. He actually tried to hack the mini inside cafe there. We didn't really see him much on screen. So far, not so good.
I think God's positioning is actually really important, just to stop Sombra being able to easily just hack all those health packs, especially the one as neptuNo's just hacked that one inside a cafe.
He hacked it and got away at the same time. That was so ballsy out of this man, and he's actually directly above him up towards the top right as well. Still trying to hack people from above, not able to get that one off even with the reduced time, but xepheR goes in, gets the initial kill, and God's is able to respond to neptuNo. What's he doing? He's just looking for a hack onto someone to shut them down.
It sounds like he did actually get the hook there on towards Gods, if I'm not mistaken, and unless the sound sort of betrayed me. But Finnsi's going to be available here and ready to deliver, or with a tactical visor, and up on top is going to go Kolsti. So Movistar, they have that initial positioning, but now it's going to be the nano boosted KAISER coming forward. They know they need to get him into position to do damage, but the Transcendence comes out over the fight almost immediately, and Kolsti's found Roolf. Not much more healing coming from that direction, and now KAISER being forced back. He gets a shocking reception from Kolsti, and it's going to be Movistar Riders stand tall on the point to take it away.
I think that looked quite desperate with the nano on the Ryan against the dive comp. I wasn't quite sure about that play.
Well, we did see actually Roolf get focused down by neptuNo, who did hit a sleep dart onto him, which kept him out of the fight and prevented any sort of EMP from coming up. But Kolsti there, it looks like the focus was just good enough to take down those targets one by one, allowing, even with neptuNo being slept, to not really need his ultimate or need his presence at the moment. But look at this, he's got his EMP ready to go. I would imagine he wants to get on high ground, but he's still looking for more health packs to hack, and I don't think he's been spotted out just yet.
No, he's actually rolling with Logix there as well. So if neptuNo was sort of left upon, they'd have the opportunity to try and gang up and actually shut that down. There's Shadow coming in from KAISER, though. We know he hits them big, and that was at least 3 men being put on the ground by that one. The pulse bomb, though, was stuck to him by Logix as a parting gift, and Surefour has to stand well and truly back here, try and get into the back line to do something with it, but xepheR has already found Gods, and Surefour may essentially be him and xepheR against the world at this stage. The D-suit comes in for that Korean Diva player. Surefour needs to get involved in the fight, but he's running out of teammates, he's running out of time, and the HP's not looking good either. 7, and now he's going to be taken down.
Yeah, he forgets that there's actually a lot of health packs that have already been hacked by neptuNo, allowing xepheR, who took damage, and Logix to just run away. Go pick up some health, come back into the fight. As long as you don't get picked off, you're going to be all right. And now neptuNo, again, on the high ground, ready to go with his EMP.
Now we've just seen the KAISER switch off to Winston, so this is going to be interesting to see how they actually play this now.
There's definitely a realization amongst Cloud9 that they need to make a change here, and KAISER may just be the issue. It's going to be the EMP.
He fluffs it.
And neptuNo pushing very close here. Only a couple of players really affected by that one, if I'm not mistaken. So not really much to come off the back of that one. It's not what he would have loved. I really feel like he forced that issue, but it's a self-destruct coming in over the top. Claims no lives for this stage, but KAISER does. Dante is down. Finnsi going to be taking cover inside the saloon for the moment, but it's all about Cloud9 over on the point. It's a pulse bomb. They didn't really amount to too much there. And of course, it was Logix trying to make it work. Surefour's going to hold on to his for a rainy day or the next fight, whichever comes first.
I'm going to imagine now neptuNo's going to be switching over to probably a Luso here, maybe giving that extra support for the team. I don't know. What do you think, Ayuki? Like, do you think it's necessary to keep the Sombra in this situation, or do you think switching to Lucio is the right move?
I think when you get stuck with the Sombra, it's just much better to swap off straight away. I think it's just going back into a comfort zone, and the triple dive is just super good in like this middle phase. So. And
also as well, they probably want a bit of mobility if they know that Cloud9 are really trying to get to grips with them, with KAISER changing over towards that Winston. Bit of a defensive dive, of course, given what their composition looks like. We know that Cloud9 like to play up close against teams on this stage of the map on defense, so not terrible to have that speed boost available. But Surefour is on the prowl. He's looking to get to the back line there as well. Dante's Transcendence was forced out by the Dragon Blade coming in from Gods. Unlikely Gods will get too much for this one, but it's what happens after those Transcendences pop that's more important. And so far, it's Movistar Riders that are making ends meet. It's Dante with 2. He's found KAISER and Gods there. That's a huge involvement from that Zenyatta in that fight. And of course, Finnsi is the cleanup crew.
I like what Finnsi did there too, because instead of just fighting KAISER out in the open, he runs into a small corridor, which means if KAISER wants to kill him, he has to chase him into that position where he really can't get healing. And if he doesn't chase him into there, he's eventually going to die. So it's just kind of like, all right, well, KAISER, you're completely out of position now because of the way I'm tugging, pulling on you to make you fight me.
Indeed. 3 minutes on the clock here for Movistar Riders, and a couple of ultimates, of course, up the sleeve. Both Traces have those pulse bombs, so it only took Logix 1 fight to get it back. And KAISER, reasonably, of course, is going to be switching back over towards this Reinhardt for the last stage. It's much more of a static approach to defending for Cloud9 on this part of the map. And Gods has run into a bit of a monkey-sized problem here. Kolsti wants to go to the back line. He wants to get Gods down, but he goes a little bit too far. Regardless, Logix trades it out with the pulse bomb. KAISER, again, on that Reinhardt, can't do too much about it.
Well, you can see the pressure's being put on towards Roolf here with Logix and xepheR there. Eventually, xepheR will shut him down, and Logix and the rest of his team should eventually back away from this one, because even with the kill that they do have, I don't really imagine they can finish this one off. But Dante just snipes xepheR off to the side with the right clicks. And as that Discord Orb still being thrown around to quite a few different targets, but that self-destruct going to come in by a little bit of time, but there's the sound barriers.
Yeah, and we see the bubble on the ground there as well. The self-destruct not as effective as xepheR would have liked it to be. It's going to be Kolsti though. Primal Rage finds KAISER. He juggles around the big Reinhardt, and Finnsi now with the tactical visor. He needs to contest with the sound barrier here, but he's got to keep the damage coming, and xepheR can't block it for long. Pulse Bomb was dropped on him. That was superfluous. He was already getting demeched there, but still Logix made sure to secure that one. And again, it's going to be tough to try and stall this one out. Cloud9 with very few players. KAISER barely makes it there in time. The Emperor has fallen. The payload's getting close, and it will be getting there. 1:42 on the clock from Movistar Riders, and quite the admirable aggression to really shake Cloud9 up there. I mean, that looks pretty decent, you know, when you've got the first example of this NA versus EU clash.
Yeah, I think it's nothing to conclude yet, just because of how strong Dive is on attack. But I'm not completely sure about Cloud9 mirroring the comp of Movistar's, just because of how comfortable Movistars are on it, and they've been practicing it for months and months. I think they're just better kind of playing their own thing, and I think they're trying to play their game.
Well, the way Movistar's dive has been talked about is it's a passive dive, if I remember correctly. What they do is they try to make you engage on them, and then they counter-engage at the same time. So they don't actually, you're not the ones forcing the initial fight in the way they play their dive, which kind of can catch teams off guard. We saw how it worked actually with KAISER. They get to that one point of him jumping in deep, and they just pulled him away from his team, and then re-engaged off the back after picking him off. So it's really, I think, something new for Cloud9 to deal with. I can't think of any NA teams that play that kind of style.
And what's important about that is because it differs from Rogue's dive style in a few important points. But the first one is that Rogue just put a Discord Orb on someone and jump on them. It's that simple. It's not, you know, it's not rocket science.
And I think this kind of play style that comes from Movistar gives you more time to think, and that time is actually bad because just within those split seconds, you need to kind of make that reaction.
Be decisive, right?
Yeah.
So do you think it opens them up to second guessing themselves sometimes?
So, yeah, exactly.
It's definitely something to keep an eye on there as well. As Movistar, of course, once you've engaged, there's not really any disengage to be happening. So neptuNo really one of the biggest Sombra aficionados in Europe at the very least. Attack or defense, rain or shine, he'll try and play it. We'll see what Cloud9 come out with as well. See if this, if Cloud9 want to try and emulate Movistar Riders and go for, you know, a dive composition. Be very interested to see how, of course, this European mix manages that.
So Movistar actually bringing the Sombra out again on defense. Looks like they've just practiced Sombra for like the last month, and they're just bringing it to TakeTV.
Yeah, so one of the few teams we're actually seeing using it when it comes to attack and defense, and not just on 2CP. But we'll see. Hacks up a health pack. I think he did he deny the forward Mega, if I'm not mistaken? Mega towards Cloud9, so they can
I believe he did it fairly early on in the piece.
Okay, so they got that control. They have their own mini, and I'm assuming very soon, or already, they have their own Mega as well hacked here and in towards the cafe. So a lot of extra health for the teammates to pick up here, but Finnsi's been rushed down by xepheR, and Logix hasn't been able to accomplish too much. He's been forced to run away.
Well, Adam was desperately trying to peel for Roolf there to keep him alive, and Roolf, with a sliver of health, just turns around and gives better than he got back towards Logix with a headshot there. neptuNo, obviously a big involvement in that fight, getting the D-suit on xepheR and getting the finish shot, but that's really all that's going to be coming from there. Cloud9, obviously, we didn't see them dive too aggressively. They almost like they received that push. But with so much investment in trying to kill Roolf not paying off on Movistar, that's got to be pretty frustrating.
So looking here, Ayuki, neptuNo still playing Sombra, has EMP. Does this say that Movistar Riders have to fight at this door because of how the EMP is going to work, and this is like the only opportunity they have to make a Sombra work?
Yeah, I think they're going to just fight as soon as they can, just because they know that Cloud9 won't have any ults right now.
Looks like neptuNo has put the translocator down. Man. Straight on in. They're a little bit spread for him at the moment. Maybe just, goes all. Okay, gets the extra damage essentially because he strips the shields away from Roolf when he pops that EMP, and the rest of his team was able to follow up. 50 health points in Yana is a juicy target, and neptuNo's not one to say no.
So how do you still play out the Sombra in this situation? Like, because obviously there's like 2 minis you can hack in this position, but there's no real Megas in close vicinity for you to pick up that are realistic in the middle of a fight.
I think it's. I think you don't even need a Mega just with the single tank. I think it's fine just hacking these small health packs because.
Well, I mean, the minis respawn so fast, right?
Yeah, exactly.
It's going to be a pulse bomb on Kolsti, and he can't escape that one. Won't even make it back to the moon this time. And now Surefour in amongst that fight as Wolf going to pop the Transcendence to try and keep KAISER alive, and it does work out. A much more successful performance from Cloud9 there. They decided when to go in, and they decided how the fight goes.
I'm not sure if xepheR actually ate the bio grenade that came out of Dante, who did switch over, or is playing the Ana. So I'm imagining, like, that was the whole game plan. Throw in the nano boosted swoosh on the Genji with the Dragon Blade, hit a bio, and let him pick up those kills. But I want to say xepheR had to have eaten it, or it was just miscommunicated within the team.
I mean, you understand Anna's the only support that whose output depends on the connection of projectiles as well, which is why Diva's so good for nullifying her impact.
Oh, did Dante just get like headshotted by gods and then Roolf finished it off? That was sick. I mean, they're down their Anna. They're down one of their major healers, their burst healers. And now, I mean, Finnsi, Kolsti, and Logix, well, with Logix being taken down, there's some headshots out of Roolf again, has no chance to really contest this payload.
You can see Roolf's doing as well, a lot of damage coming in, and his teammates are capitalizing from that one for Surefour. It's very easy to pick off a target. The Roolf has already chunked down to about 10 HP, and this dive, this aggression from Cloud9 is paying off. With xepheR on that D.Va as well, making sure that they can mitigate the hit scan damage coming across from Movistar. Yuki, this seems to actually be working very well for C9.
I think you got to give credit to xepheR in this competition, just because he's nullifying like how much Movistar can actually do, and Movistar are a really aggressive team. Sure, they're passive with their dive, but they normally do kill the Zen, and xepheR's just denying that.
It seems like most of the success that has come from killing off Roolf comes down to the EMP that neptuNo threw down, because hey, 50 HP target's a lot easier to kill than 150 HP, right? But at the moment, like you're saying, he's been surviving, and if more often than not, actually picking up kills. His right clicks have been really on point so far in this series.
Now C9 preparing themselves for a foray deep into enemy territory to try and finish this one off here as well. And Gods is going to come in. The Dragon Blade immediately boot back though as well. Nicely done to respond by neptuNo, but Gods is not done yet. He wants more and he's hungry. It's 2 for him. And now a couple right clicks to come through. A bit of extra damage across. And look at that KAISER now to follow up there. It's wave after wave of damage coming in from Cloud9, and Movistar Riders cannot bear the brunt of it.
I'm not sure if that was intentional, Yuki, there, but we saw Gods, he backed away and dashed back in.
Wait, didn't he get booped by neptuNo?
Well, I saw he dashed back in on Finnsi while he was reloading with Tac Visor up. So it's like, obviously he was going to be able to pick up that kill since he was in range of healing. But in the meantime, the payload's still moving. We do see KAISER trying to stall for some time.
Yep, just going to get a Primal Rager as well, and that's very effective. Too effective almost. KAISER lands on top of Dante and deals with him, but Logix tries to send him skyward yet again with another pulse bomb, but they just aren't the plays here for Movistar Riders. And Cloud9 have exceeded Movistar Riders' expectation on what should theoretically be their home ground. 2 minutes on the time.
I think you just saw the full kill feed there with Gods, and I think it's just playing out of his mind for both of these games like today, and it's just proving that he's really top Genji.
It's ridiculous, right? He was such a hit scan guy. He was so good at that, but I just never thought we'd see him just start busting heads on Genji. I mean, it gives you faith for players like xepheR who as well, who are still trying to pick up Genji and try and add that to his team.
I really want to quote Twitch chat here, Mitch. That keeps talking about gods. Did you used to be an atheist, but now you believe in gods?
What's a god to an emperor, though?
I don't know. They're on the same team. They're on the same side.
I think I saw Cloud9 in there as well, so...
I mean, that's just good old Twitch chat, right? Yeah. But either way, Cloud9, like 3 minutes and 35 seconds is a phenomenal time. And considering this is a team that they haven't necessarily played against too much, haven't had the chance to really scrim against too much, and had only a couple of VODs that were relatively old to look at, they switched things up really quickly in their attacking phase and performed flawlessly.
And you can see that, like, there's a big read, like, straight away, things like Gods trying to sit back waiting for neptuNo, right? Like, this is stuff you can find out, but the fact that C9 are so confident in doing that it's worth putting Gods in that spot early in the round means that Bishop took a lot of notes himself.
Yeah, watching a lot of the games, definitely.
I think the biggest difference between these two teams and why Cloud9 actually had a lot of success was running the D.Va on attack, and a lot of European teams don't actually run the D.Va on the attack.
It's actually a lot of European teams, at least in the past, it was the comparison we used to make. They used to prefer the Zarya over the D.Va in that particular role. But neptuNo's on that Mega. He's managed to get that hack, and now he wants to jump straight on in. Not much ult charged up yet, but he's looking for the mini, but he's kind of getting body blocked out. Now he might have the D.Va to deal with him. Guess what? KAISER came to say hello, but he quickly gets out to safety.
I don't know if that is just he's just running a distraction or what, because they try to attack him, they back up into the cafe, and then Logix just picks up these kills, and he's not being touched. He's not being focused down, which if you're a Tracer, that's exactly what you want to have happen. And he's just getting so much free damage in, and in turn, free kills. We're only having like a minute and a half or 2 minutes of time to actually work with, they pick up this first point cleanly.
I mean, that's a hallmark as well of a composition that has dive elements to it as well. There's always more than one threat. neptuNo, of course, is more, utility focused. I think he was going for the mini there as well, just to make it even harder for C9 to sustain through that onslaught. You can see he's doing that here. Again, it's just a war of attrition, and it's chipping away at the constitution of C9 and their ability to hold through this aggression.
All right, Sayuki here. We have neptuNo still running on the Sombra. There's about 30 seconds remaining. Do you think this is something you should stick to? He's about to have EMP, so obviously maybe you should just do it for the ultimate alone, but this is going to be a tough fight.
Yeah, I think they could just straight out win this next fight if he stays alive.
That would be ideal.
But yeah, they've still got time to get on the payload, so I think they'll just win out this fight if we can get a Sombra on Cloud9. But it depends how Cloud9 positions. They should know he has it, so.
Well, this will be the last fight. You're pretty much right. It's 10 seconds remaining, and so far Movistar are shepherding the payload forward. The limousine is moving, albeit very slowly. We're going to be in overtime fairly soon, and Cloud9 are biding their time themselves. Going to get ready to jump in now. The EMP comes out responsibly from neptuNo. It's defensive, and it seems to have worked, but Gods comes in. He chases the Sombra down, and Surefour doubles down with the pulse bomb. This is going to be pretty tricky to deal with, and xepheR can't reflect his way to victory, not through the onslaught that C9 are bringing, and that's going to be it. Overtime should well and truly tick down. 43.75 meters was what Movistar achieved after the first point, and C9 have 3.5 minutes to match it.
That had to have been a good read by Surefour and Gods there, because we saw the EMP go off, right? But Surefour was still able to pulse bomb because he didn't get caught by it. Gods was still able to dash because he wasn't caught by the EMP, and they're able to win that fight off the back of that EMP, only catching one. I think only caught KAISER. Yeah, and obviously, if you're neptuNo in this situation, you got to hit more.
It was like a reactive, though, wasn't it? Like, he didn't really know.
He ran in and used it. I was expecting him to maybe throw the translocator up a little high just so he can see where everyone is and get the information, then pop it down, but...
I think that's what... it goes back to what CWoosH said in the interview, the previous game, how you can just change a fight, like, immediately with a dive bomb. And Surefour with that pulse bomb was huge.
Absolutely, and of course as well, if you force a fight to a team that has a Sombra that wants to lurk in your back lines for 10 seconds and find a way to set up or try and translocate in, then the team with a Sombra can't remotely guarantee the effectiveness of that EMP. You have no choice. It's like, I use it now or I die. So Cloud9 forcing the issue, and they forced the hand of Movistar Riders now as well, and they're well set up to close this out. 3.5 minutes is a huge amount of time. Both teams' dives have been respectively quite successful on this first point. Movistar should be concerned.
Yeah, it's quite a lot of time to push considering their initial attack. So it'll be interesting to see. Yeah, they're running the same composition with the Diva again.
Well, Jason, we're going to jump in here now as well. C9 in the blue on the attacking side. They are going to have that, of course, the 2-2-2. They're going to have the Diva, which has been so important to them. And KAISER's going to be on the Winston to start with.
Roolf is still just looking for those right clicks. He does catch one onto Finnsi there, knocking about half HP. Does also see Logix towards the left-hand side, giving so much information just with that Discord alone, but you can see he's already relatively low in HP as they're trying to focus him down. But Surefour gets a clean kill on a neptuNo pretty much by himself as KAISER jumps on top of that cafe, and Dante able to stay alive for now, but Kolsti on a very low life. xepheR as well, able to pick up a health pack, but they're losing quite a few people, but able to turn some of this around here. Gods are trying to look for a single kill, trying to focus out on xepheR, eventually gets the kill with the help of the melee damage. I think Cloud9 might have been able to pull this one off.
Yeah, I mean, that point was a flurry of arms, legs, and assorted appendages here, but Cloud9 really getting in the face of Movistar Riders. Adam and KAISER, good reflect there from Gods that not only keeps him alive, but also keeps him trucking along. And C9 have cleared the point. They made it pretty squeaky clean, and that's a huge amount of time. Now Movistar have to hold forward, and how difficult is this? They're going to be spawning a relatively long distance away.
So it's going to be super difficult because it's literally one fight and Cloud9 have ults. So this is going to be really hard.
neptuNo got the bad spawn, I think, instead of maybe Kolsti. But the thing is, they all died quick enough that they can still regroup and contest at the door. So at least there is a chance for them to put up a decent fight here. Problem comes down to ultimates. It's going to come down to xepheR here and the Nanoblade out of Dante to really make this one work. The trance is about to hit up for Roolf, though, and that's going to counter this one completely.
You hear the siren going as well. The alarm is out now, and xepheR knows he's got no choice but to go forward and find what he can. So far, he gets the kill on towards Abaddon, but that's all it's going to be. xepheR gets up in his face and gives him a boot back to his spawn, of course. Finnsi now needs to use his tac visor. Everything from Movistar Riders, they can't sit on their ultimates. They must be used now and used effectively. Got his purple bite, grenade hits home, but he stays alive somehow. He reflects Finnsi's shots, forces him back, but it's going to be Logix to find him anyway, and for now. And so far,
so that was actually really, really well played by Cloud9. They actually dry fighted that, and now they're up on ultimates against Movi, so...
Yeah, the sound barrier is going to be huge out of Adam, not to mention Gods has his blade ready to go. Riders have to throw everything they have in this one. I'm looking towards Logix to be the one to really make a big play happen here with this pulse one. If he can get them grouped up, he can stall the time a little bit longer to allow Finnsi and xepheR to maybe build up another ultimate here.
Dragon Blade for Gods. The sound barrier comes out, so surely he's going to go for the blade, and he is straight in over towards his Soldier 76 here as the pressure coming out. Finnsi needs to be careful, but Gods is forced to block most of this damage away, and Logix, that's the turnaround. That's the double pulse bomb kill. Surefour did the same thing in this position, and it's just as effective on either side of the map, and Movistar again can hold.
And Kolsti actually kept God's out of the fight for the most part. So God's went in, right? He tried to chase on a Finnsi, who somehow juked him out and got away. Then immediately turned towards the high ground where Kolsti just kept knocking him back and back and back, so he couldn't really make a play happen. And with that kill out of Logix, the double, now Finnsi has his ultimate up. Dante will have it momentarily, so they have the potential for a nano visor. This is a good stall here for Movistar riders, but they have to do it another one and potentially 2 times.
Finnsi the only player right now with an ultimate. Dante will be able to potentially give him attack visor after this one, or a nano visor, should I say, but xepheR is going to be a factor as always. Attack visor for Finnsi, but he got no chance to use it. Gods chases him down. No way you're going to escape from that one, and Surefour as well. That's his second kill of the fight, and 2 players stand for Movistar. Make that none. Cloud9 get over the line, and it's a very impressive first map. They only had 1 minute and 18 seconds remaining, but they knew they had the time to work with. We saw the dry fight came in where they forced ultimates out. They knew that they could pressure Movistar quite easily in that way. A bit too close and catch him out. But so far, hasn't been found. CWoosH and Kolsti are very, very low, though. They've taken a huge amount of damage in the first part of this round, and God's pressuring forward. Kolsti had a Harmony Orb on him, but it wasn't enough to keep him alive.
Seems like Cloud9 were doing the same thing that Movistar were trying to do before, of just pulling in the tanks, pulling in Kolsti a little bit too far in a position that he can't necessarily be burst healed, quote unquote, with a Zenyatta and a Lucio in time to actually stay alive, and they're able to net that first initial kill. But get individual plays like Surefour getting that pulse bomb, as well as Logix getting the kill there, has allowed the fight to actually go over to Movistar. Wow, they actually, so Cloud9 had it and then lost it to Movistar because they backed away. Yeah,
they did that. They actually allowed the point to flip back a little bit there. Movistar riders took their opportunity. So, I mean, it's maybe to the tune of 4 to 6% that they sort of miss out on that one. They managed to retake it rather rapidly here, but God's obviously been quite the instigator in this case. And Movistar riders, again, you want to be reactive, you want to play a reactive dive, that's fine. But if you don't have the point, you must go in.
Look at the two, just compare the two Zenyatas, Dante versus Roolf. Roolf has his Transcendence up and ready to go, and Dante's only at 60%, which allows Gods now to just get in and be aggressive and win this fight. Obviously, neptuNo had a sound barrier, but considering they lost the initial 1 or 2 people with Dante going down, they knew it was a wipe. Just save the ultimates, go into the next fight with an ult advantage. Just have to worry about positions. Did Roolf get a headshot?
He headshot Finnsi there, I think.
Wow.
Filth. What's going wrong for Movistar here, Yuki?
I think they're just struggling again against the D.Va, and Cloud9 are just playing so well with it. I think xepheR's one of the few D.Vas that actually peel correctly with Ace.
Oh my.
Carry on, sorry.
Yeah, sorry.
It's really difficult to actually execute it properly, but once you get that practice on it, I think it's it can be really, really strong.
So is this why you're saying we should see maybe a Zarya come out of Movistar to deal, which we are exactly seeing now with Finnsi?
Yeah.
And how exactly is that designed to deal with it? Obviously, you can laser down the D.Va through a defense matrix, but is there any other real reason that you want to see Finnsi, use that Zarya for utility or anything else?
No, not really. It's just mainly just to get that D.Va down. Just of course, kind of. I mean, it allows your dive to be able to survive longer when they actually dive in, but it's mostly just down.
Yes.
What about defensively, though? I mean, if Dante's being pressured by Gods, I would imagine the bubble might buy him, a couple extra seconds of time potentially to get away. But we are seeing the Sound Bears come in. It looks like Movistar trying to take this point back. It's already 99% for Cloud9, and Gods has his blade ready to go yet again. He's going to pop this one down. So Transcendence can be used defensively out of Dante. It's going to be a self-destruct coming in towards the backside. Looks like it won't catch on to anyone, but it doesn't stop Gods from picking himself up a kill as well. Surefour able to chime in. Finnsi, pretty much by himself with only 30 energy, cannot get the damage down he needs. And it looks like Cloud9 will pick up the first map here on Lijang Tower.
Reluctant to give it up and refuse to do so. First round over to the North American squad here on Lijang Tower.
So I wouldn't be surprised if Movistar actually start with Zarya this next map. Obviously, that swap was quite late. So I think if they did that after the first fight, then they would have been all right. But
we're feeling like it took them a little bit too long to come to that conclusion, do you think?
I think some teams, it can be a little difficult to call for a change in the middle of a map when you're used to playing something so well, and you know that, okay, we lost the initial fight, whatever. We lost the second fight because they had ult advantage, and then it's just kind of like, well, now we're coming to with ultimates. If we mess this fight up, then maybe we can switch, but now that we've done that, we're even further behind because it's pretty much the last fight kind of thing. Maybe if Movistar held the point a little bit longer earlier on, or denied % away from Cloud9, they would have had an opportunity to make that Zarya work. But look what we're seeing here, we're seeing the Mercy Pharah. Honestly, a big fan of it, especially on this map.
Yeah, so this is kind of the CLG comp that they run quite often. It's just a case of stalling the point as long as you can, have the Mercy res come back in. It's extremely difficult to play against.
Yeah, and it also depends on you, importantly, winning that first fight that you can actually hold it to start with. But xepheR obviously has the xepheR as well. So both teams running a xepheR, xepheR simply playing without a Mercy, which may make life quite a lot harder for him, and somehow Surefour with the knockoff on Dante, that is going to even things up a little bit more. Both xepheRs have had their first involvements here quite nicely. And Surefour versus xepheR is going to be an epic battle as well, but we haven't really seen too much of xepheR on that xepheR so far. You can see that xepheR knows he needs to protect Adam there. The defense matrix is used to keep that Mercy topped up.
It's just really hard if you're xepheR here in the situation to do much damage when there is a D.Va play on the enemy team, especially like xepheR and how good he is, because it eliminates a majority of your damage you could potentially pull off. And the side of Surefour is he gets free damage off on his end. There's nothing to really block him out. He can obviously attack towards the bridge. Looks like Adam here's going to be going for res, catches 3 people here to stall out at least the initial contention here for Movistar.
Can be pretty frustrating there for Movistar as well. It was a big involvement from Logix to actually turn that thing back around. And again, neptuNo was still hanging around. He's had about 4 kills in this current life, and xepheR actually just swoops straight on in and gets 2 kills to turn it back in Movistar Riders' favor. C9 couldn't use their stall comp to their advantage because no one had captured the point yet. So they had a very elongated fight, and it did them no good to keep trying to trickle in.
Yeah, and I think, as you said, that's really, really crucial. Like, losing that first fight, it's going to be really, really hard to actually take this back with his stall comp.
Because he xepheR as well, he's in a commanding position. He can do so much with that concussive blast, but no one falls off there. I believe it was Lucio able to get towards safety now, and you can see that KAISER was looming, but he had a Discord orb on him, and xepheR would have been happy to take the shot. He has to go solo against a xepheR and Mercy combo, which is not going to be fun. He needs to get rid of the D.Va. He needs to make sure that his barrage can work out. He gets 1 kill, but Surefour swoops down on him very quickly. Now to Finnsi to try and deal with the bird in the sky. Going to try and clean it up, of course, with attack visor. Manages to find a few kills here, and it is both the xepheR and Mercy to drop down. KAISER finally gets rid of him, but the damage is done.
And even neptuNo actually popped the Sombra to keep xepheR alive in the middle of the barrage, so not having a Zarya to facilitate, no Mercy to keep him healed up. And hey, he picks up 1 kill off the back of it. He forces the attention towards him, which allows Finnsi to get that tactical visor off over towards the building towards the side. Now Dante with the Transcendence should be able to keep him extra healthy. He's looking to push in, but it all comes down to, like you said, the stall tactics. Adam will have his res available, and xepheR has a barrage on top.
Couple moments here now, and it's going to be Cloud9 coming over the bridge as well. They've actually got the xepheR Mercy in the backline, and that was Surefour trying to set up for a big barrage. He's found Finnsi, one of his biggest threats in the next fight, so that's a good start for him. Adam, it's a tempo res, getting Roolf back on his feet because they know they need that extra healing, and the Lucio presence is going to be very important. Dante's knocked off the Ez by Surefour. Adam as well making sure his big monkey is kept healed up, and they're going to pressure forward yet again. Surefour takes down xepheR as well in midair, and C9 finally have the chance to come back on towards this point.
It's just making me sad why I can't get Mercy mains in my ranked games like we're seeing Adam play, because he's doing a fantastic job. You just see him floating around so often. He's dodging away from xepheR on the xepheR, who's now switched over to the Genji, and he knows when to drop versus when not to, when he can actually drop to a position to heal, knowing how much damage his teammates are taking.
I heard that NA is actually a utopia of Mercy mains, Jason.
Yeah, KAISER told us about that, right?
He's not a fan. Oh, dear. Okay. 16% on C9 now as well, so they managed to build it up a little bit more here. Movistar, eventually all they need to do is really take this one, so we're at 97% here, so you can see them taking their time a little bit here, just trying to make use of their tracer, but Dante out of nowhere, that's dirty. He finds Gods with their headshot now, and KAISER, again, he's just getting tasered up and not really sure where he needs to be looking. A little bit of disarray for Cloud9 here, that's not good. Dante again comes in. Adam goes down with res. Nicely done by Dante to identify that that was a crucial target, and we're in overtime now. Again, Dante deals death. The head of xepheR goes rolling. Brilliant stuff from him. He's put so much of his team on his back in that last round, and Movistar make it 1-1.
Oh, so walk us through that. I mean, we saw the xepheR Mercy, we saw xwoosh actually switch up last second over to Genji, and even Gods was playing the Tracer that time instead of playing Genji.
Yeah, so it just all goes back to that first fight, so it's really snowbally on a control map. Just having that Mercy xepheR, like, we really need them to see them to win that first fight, to be able to stall, otherwise there's no stalling. And Adam actually missing that res at the last point is pretty crucial.
It's one of the reasons why teams like X-Denial or Yikes now as well are so effective, because they actually keep Gingerpop alive really well. Not only is he very slippery, but he's a big priority for them. So shout outs to the Yikes boys. But one apiece here, of course. It's a best of 5 on this particular map, and it's 1-0 in the series thus far. No big changes compositionally here, Jason, as we head into night markets.
Yeah, God's back on the Genji. Still sticking to that 2-2-2 for Cloud9, where Movistar pretty much sticking to what they know and what they work with best. I'm hoping Dante gets a little bit more freedom this time because he got pressured by xepheR a hell of a lot in the last map, being knocked off twice, being focused down by every stray rockets, and obviously as a Zenyatta, you don't really have an escape mechanism. You're depending on neptuNo, or the Lucio player in this position, to help keep you alive by speeding you away.
And you see what happens when he wasn't being harassed as well. The final moments were pretty much Dante all over the kill feed there as well. Okay, KAISER going to come in here. He was already discorded up, and he doesn't last very long at all. Dante set that up, but it's traded out. He forced the Surefour again, which was the issue we mentioned earlier. And now Surefour doesn't have too many people to keep him in check. He's found Finnsi now. neptuNo forced to skate up on the edge and try and stay up. The point is not taken yet, but Roolf's fallen now to XWoosH.
But you can see the presence of mind out of Movistar, and you can go into this a little bit more, where Finnsi was playing with Dante. Can you explain why he's playing with him, Soldier, with Zenyatta there?
Yeah, so it's just for their heal, just build up to peel against that next to the health pack. But I actually thought Cloud9 were gonna win that fight, just simply because Movistar's front line went to the point, and then they had that back line next to the health pack, and Cloud9 dived them. Yet Movistar still come ahead.
There's a lot to be said for the fact that Surefour managed to pick off for 76 and that's Zenyatta as well. So that's just a huge portion of damage on the side of Movistar Riders as well. I mean, that's the why it's so threatening to try and go against them when they're sort of buddy systeming up. But it's going to be Dante being forced back here as well. He's going to need some help in a moment here. KAISER comes forward. The bubble was dropped down though. That's a great response from Kolsti to keep Dante alive. He's now sitting on the Mega, and that's all well and good, but Movistar Riders eventually need to make a push for the point instead of keeping each other alive.
Yeah, I mean, it was pretty much just KAISER locking them in towards this area, towards their own spawn, and just picking up one kill at a piece. It's just Finnsi is enough to halt the attack out of Movistar. But the respawn, it's back. Finnsi does have his visor coming up shortly, and Movistar have a lot of ultimates to work with, but Gods, is he going to pop this Dragon Blade? Is it going to connect on enough people?
Yeah, well then both ninjas have the swords out, but Gods this, for the moment, has gotten the better of XWoosH. He's found Finnsi at the start of the fight. XWoosH gets nothing for that Dragon Blade, and now another defensive ultimate coming out from Movistar Riders. They need to spend these because they need to get on the point. There's no other choice, but this may not even work out here, and if this doesn't work out for Movistar, they're in big trouble. It's all gone wrong. Both defensive ultimates used there. Dragon Blade also committed. None of them really having the effect that was desired, and C9 repelled them quite comfortably.
I think as much as people are pointing out Gods as being like this insane Genji, Surefour is actually like really going off on Tracer. He's really playing well. So
would you say he's creating like necessarily the space for Gods to do this? Because as you mentioned, he's kind of, well, right there, hitting post bombs as well.
Yeah, he's playing out of his mind right now.
I mean, this was the original thing that sort of brought Surefour into the spotlight as well. He was so good, and his tracking was so good that people were just freaking out about the whole thing. They couldn't believe that it was real. Yeah, but he's doing it on land. He's a land dragon, as we call him. So get mad, nerds. Anyway, xepheR going to back away. He actually has a self-destruct available. He's going to head that up into the air. That bubble's going to disappear as well. This could be dangerous. Movistar needs to get out of the way. They've lost XWoosH, one of their key components in their next fight. Not that he had a Dragon Blade, but he was close to one, and that's all that matters. 2 players on the point for Movistar, and KAISER now wants to break up this little party, and it is going to be him dropping in. A lot of damage being dealt over on towards Kolsti, but he's able to get away. KAISER's the one who's low. Finnsi picks him off. Maybe an overextension here for Cloud9 as Movistar try and set up on this point. They kept it stalled. They found their kills, and the D-suit on xepheR as well after. It's going to make it very, very hard for C9 to avoid that damage. Movistar clinch it in the final moments.
It's still blowing my mind how one player like KAISER is able to keep Finnsi and Dante together and out of a fight. Like I've seen KAISER now multiple times kill Dante via knocking him off, via focusing him down, or at least keeping him out of the fight where he can't be really effective. And looking at Roolf versus Dante, Roolf, I don't really see him being pressured too much. He has so much more freedom to hit these right clicks or just to get these Discord orbs onto the right target. So xepheR and Gods can pick up these skills. Again, Dante being focused on immediately forces to use the Transcendence just to stay alive.
Well, I mean, I guess he is getting pressured to some degree. Finally, Dante, the Transcendence comes out, but no, Cloud9 get this after they managed to stay alive and then use it. This could be big. The timing was good on the Transcendence use here, but it's been kills traded out so far. XWoosH drops down. xepheR gets 2. He eventually is de-suited by Kolsti, and neptuNo needs to try and back up. It's going to be a sound barrier here. Not a lot of Movistar Riders players on this point, but that sound barrier still is crucial. The knockoff should be there. Sure enough, xepheR's not going to be coming back from that one. It's a long walk off a very short ledge, and he's catapulted by the Winston. Movistar hold for now.
Is it over, though? That's the real question. Looks like it is. Cloud9 has backed off. 55% now built up here for Movistar Riders. But they expended pretty much every ultimate they had just to maintain this point alone. And now xepheR can go big pretty much by himself. If he can just hit a pulse bomb, you can see Logix off to the side, gives the information of where xepheR's going to be and tries to track him down immediately. But there's no follow-up. There's no back of his team. He even tries to pull off the 1v1 there, which was very risky.
All of Cloud9 are grouped up together here. So Logix respects this. You can see that he's just looking in, maybe hoping to get lucky, some sort of pick. But that's all that Movistar really have to create that opportunity for them now. They're going to await Cloud9 on the point. And Cloud9, oh, this could be dangerous. Finnsi a little bit caught out. The pulse bomb stuck, could be nasty. Looks like he manages to avoid it. It was close. Surefour was hot on his heels.
Oh, Roolf even being focused down in the midst of this, actually very low on HP, but he's getting very close to his Transcendence. Gods doesn't have his Dragon Blade up just yet. All it takes is one single kill to make something happen, and there it is. Gods gets the kill to Kolsti. We're at 95% for Movistar Riders. They're trying to close this one out, and Gods, with the help of the Sound Barrier, is just trying to pick up people from the side like a vulture, and he's looking directly towards Dante, who's forced to pop that trance.
Cloud9 is the name here. They're going to move straight on in. KAISER set them up with a bubble. They filtered in after, but Logix has found 2 quick kills. A big individual contribution from him in this round, but it's unlikely to be enough. Finnsi at least is there, but that annoying Diva is going to prevent him from doing any damage. The Korean Future Vacuum shuts him down pretty hard, but Logix, again, another kill. That's his 3rd on the point. A 4th. Logix doing some serious work here and swooshing down with the Dragon Blade. There's an opportunity. neptuNo gets the D-suit and the kill on towards xepheR as well. It's going to be the Transcendence forced out on the point by Roolf, but it may not be enough here. You can see the Movistar are being careful about this. They know they need to keep overtime going. They need reinforcements. Gods, it's time to channel the Dragon. He's looking for his next target again, and this swoosh is felled. Cut in 2, of course. Straight jumping through on the point, and neptuNo also running low. C9 have come back in. The reinforcements arrived. It looks like Jason, this might be it.
But Kolsti's still trying to hold on. He's still just swinging away, trying to stall for as long as he possibly can. Maybe some backup on Logix will be enough, but Logix is taken down, and Kolsti, with only 100 HP left remaining, is going to fall here. Cloud9 are going to turn the point, and they're going to take this one 2-1, going into potentially the final map here of Lijang Tower.
Whew. That was pretty spicy.
Yeah, very.
So I actually want to point out Adam there. He actually got a boop onto CWoosH as he used his blades. That was like super important that he got that boop.
It's incredible how difficult that is as well for a Genji, because naturally you get that first free swift strike, of course, after you pull out the blade. But if you get caught out of position and you're not getting any eliminations in the interim, you sort of sat there, sort of, I guess, impotently waving your blade in the enemy's face.
Yeah, so Finns is actually bringing out the Xayah by the looks of things. Cloud9 have only won the rounds they played Diva, so Xayah's the answer.
All right, we'll see how it's going to work for Finnsi here. Again, using that bubble aggressively to allow swoosh and maybe Logix to work together in tandem to put more pressure onto Roolf, or maybe use it defensively onto Dante, who's been constantly the prey of KAISER and co as they do jump directly on top of him here. But the initial fight going to break out towards the point. And you can see Finnsi just curious about what kind of % generation he can build up on his energy in this.
Again, neptuNo just trying to get a bit of a feel for what's going on here. You can see Logix isn't going to go too deep until he finds a kill really available, but he's discorded right now, so you can see, yeah, he really has to play honestly. Eventually it's going to be removed from him, but xepheR finds Kolsti early on. You've got to be very careful if you're Winston to get too close to that mech.
Yeah, it was a weird call because Kolsti went in when the rest of the team backed away to actually deal with Surefour to try to hit him as 4 or 5 people to just eliminate him immediately, and Kolsti pays the price for that being too far forward.
Logix now as well. On the point again, trying to really contest this one out, but xepheR is going to find Logix and clean him up pretty comfortably. So Cloud9, that's that first fight won for them here. We haven't really seen the effectiveness of Finnsi on that Xayah so far.
Yeah, I think it was just down to only, as Jason points out, it was only Kolsti diving in just alone with the Xayah bubble. It's not going to be enough just to kill something against the Diva.
Surefour, pulse bomb drop there, doesn't really connect. It's going to be the sound barrier coming out for Cloud9 here to keep KAISER alive. And Kolsti found Surefour amongst that mix, so now we're just taking a quick fly over here, but it looks like Movistar Riders have taken the fight outside, and it seems like it's worked pretty well for them. Again, neptuNo, getting involved in that fight. He had that boot kill. xepheR drops in to what end? Maybe just a stall for the moment as well. Very quickly going to get desuited and taken out.
All right, so Movistar win that fight with only a pulse bomb used. I think that was out of Logix, which eventually did miss. But they do win the fight most importantly, and now Cloud9, after investing in their own pulse bomb, and I believe a sound barrier out of Adam, have a chance to retake off the back of Gods. But the problem is, this is where we saw, you know, Cloud9 succeed or fail. It depends if the other team has support ultimates. neptuNo and Dante both have those available. If they can just hit Q at the right time and not allow Gods to pick up any kills individually, if he does want to invest his blade, unless they want to go for a dry run, then this should be another hold for Movistar at a minimal use of ultimates.
I'd like to see them not both press Q at this stage, but perhaps one of them as well. Roolf's going to have his Transcendence up now. swoosh is going to go in. There are a lot of Transcendences over the point. Talk about clutter, but now it's going to be swoosh coming through. The dash in. Still, his target's being healed up. He literally just wants to try and get some damage on xepheR, I guess, in that fight, the main target. But Logix, a big pulse bomb to find both supports. That's massive.
Actually, or go ahead.
Now they're probably going to push up to this choke just because they've got the Xayah ult soon, I imagine.
Okay, he's doing just that. See how close Finnsi has gotten now. He's also got Logix over towards that left side.
Looks
now.
like he can't get it though, so they're going to back up to point.
Yeah, he's got no energy at the moment. Currently sitting at 0. It's really, obviously it's really hard against dive comms to get energy. So you don't have that Reinhardt to get constant Fire Strike energy from, which we have seen KAISER switch over to. Gods has his ultimate ready to go. There's no support ultimates. Remember, neptuNo and Dante both used their ults in that last fight. This should be a fight Cloud9 wins if he could just hit his hits.
That was just a desperation graviton though. It does actually catch the entirety of C9 there, but there was no follow-up because Movistar were already backing away for that one. That didn't work out at all. Finnsi shielded Kolsti before the fight started, but he got no charge off of that Winston because C9 recognized that attacking him would be quite dangerous for them at that time. It would be quite an issue. Adam onto Logix though, when it's a Surefour on the point. Winston's still swinging through the air, but KAISER finds him, takes him down the opposite Winston, and neptuNo also falls.
That just looked like a lack of communication. I'm not sure what was going on there.
Well, no,
it was just bizarre. Like that graviton makes absolutely no sense.
Like when the Kolsti jumped in, like he got xepheR got no energy from the jump, and he bubbled at the same time as he shielded.
Yeah,
so there was no communication.
The shield came out just after the bubble, and C9 weren't actually even poking at Kolsti at the time either. They kind of saw the shield, but like, nah, we're not going to go for it. But here we go, another fight. Sound barrier for C9.
Yeah, KAISER just get caught with the pulse bomb, eventually taken down by Logix, and yeah, xepheR, he's going to have his self-destruct, I would imagine, in a few seconds, or no, I should think he got desuited before he can get that one off there. In the meantime, XWoosH looking for something. As you can see, the healing still constantly coming in. KAISER getting close to his Earth Shadow. This is where things become very dangerous if you do run a Reinhardt on your team, at least for the other, is that once he picks up an Earth Shatter, what do you have to block it? Unless you can somehow read it out of the Zarya. But there's going to be, I think, XWoosH going in with his Dragon Blade, takes down Adam. KAISER's not able to hit that charge, unfortunately. Now he's just the last man alive on the point. And look at this, 90% built up for Movistar. This could almost close this one out. I mean, you have a Transcendence to fight them off. If they come in, it's going to come down to Surefour to be the one to tag the point in time.
Yeah, I mean, there's really no time. It's only stall. They want to put so little there as well. Logix back to the point. We're in overtime. Surefour drops down. Gods has to go, and he gets a nano boost as well, and the Dragon Blade, but he still has to cut through a Transcendence. So hard to do that, but what other choice is there? Big Earth Shatter coming out, though. This could be it. Movistar get knocked to the ground there. Lovely setup from KAISER to drop them all to the ground, and now it's going to be xepheR switching over towards that Winston, of course, to get the extra damage across the line. Finnsi getting booped back off the point of graviton for good measure, but again, no follow-up. Finnsi picks the Zarya, gets nothing done with the ultimates here, and C9 have done the unthinkable. They should be able to cap this point now in overtime.
XWoosH couldn't get the resets there to actually make that one work, even with the help of the graviton. Just didn't have the damage there to support him from this. Now Surefour with pulse bomb available, 92% build up for Cloud9. He's got a pulse bomb. They also have a sound barrier to work with, where Movistar have absolutely no support ultimates to use.
Yeah, big sound barrier there for Cloud9. It's going to make it that much harder for Movistar to do anything about it. And in the meantime, Surefour just found 2 kills. A lazy pulse bomb at the feet of neptuNo was more than enough. A gift that he couldn't refuse, perhaps.
Oh,
XWoosH though with 2, with 3, with 4. It comes through with a swift strike, and Surefour is dropped to the ground. There is chance here for Movistar Riders to make something happen. Individual performances, my God. XWoosH turns it around. Overtime is ticking through. No chance for C9 to get on the point. What was that? What was that? What was that?
That was, I think, Adam using his sound barrier a little bit too early in that fight, and XWoosH getting that blade up in the nick of time with no support ultimates to counter him.
What was that, dude?
What are those?
What are those? Perfect timing, really, for XWoosH to go massive there.
They shouldn't have won that.
They shouldn't have. No. Well, it was an early sound barrier. I mean, you pointed that really effectively. It actually came. It was a trickle of players through.
I think it was overconfidence. Like, yeah, we got this point. We can end it here. Let's pop the sound barrier to make sure no one else dies, so we don't have to trickle anyone in. But
it's so good. And his face was just priceless. He's already made himself a meme. And now he's given his team a chance actually to take this best of 5 away.
They actually took that round without Finnsi getting a good graviton off. Like, that's insane.
Both were like kind of defensive, like, oh crap buttons, right?
Yeah.
He had to like throw it down because he was gonna die, and yeah, I completely agree with you there.
Oh man, I'm still buzzing from that as well. Sorry about your ears at home. That's kind of what happens when you let the Australian guy cast Overwatch.
That's their fault. They should know by now.
You really should. Either way, XWoosH in the middle of the map for the moment here. Roolf's getting taken quite low. He needs to be a little bit careful. He backs away. XWoosH just trying to get a bit of damage across here and get closer to that first Dragon Blade. But Kolsti has great success. He finds KAISER.
Yeah, this momentum though. I mean, off that high, I think, of winning that last fight on the hands of XWoosH, I think they got to be feeling this. This is a strong start for them. They're going to get the initial capture. They're going to get the position they need. XWoosH already built up to 40% on his ultimate. Now it's just whether or not they can chain this into fight after fight after fight. Because obviously, yeah, they won the fight, but they didn't really build up an extra ult percent advantage, really. Surefour's at 70%, where Logix is like 60. We do see Gods finally switch over, as well as, I believe, Roolf switch from the Zenyatta to the Ana.
Yeah, interesting is KAISER on that Reinhardt, of course, again, after that last fight. So complete change from C9, and this is what Bishop was talking about. This is their, ability to switch comps up very quickly. We'll have to see how it works out, though. The pulse bomb from Logix is going to be enough to get over the line. The damage on Gods, and xepheR's very low. Adam also is at great risk of falling, and xepheR can't escape that. He gets ejected out of the mech over a big ledge, and there's no coming back from that.
Okay, so they don't say the pulse bomb actually to combo with the Graviton Surge, which, hey, why not? Your Logix, you're a fantastic tracer. He's going to build up his next ult momentarily, and SWoosH is going to have his blades. So you have two different win conditions if you want. You can use the Graviton and the Dragon Blade, or you can use the Graviton and the pulse bomb. But the way Logix has been hitting these pulse bombs time and time again, getting both supports at the same time, or supporting a DPS like Surefour and Adam, I think they might be able to just go for the Dragon Blade and the grab, because look at this, 95% for Finnsi now. We're not even needed.
And gets into the backline pretty much straight away as well here. Movistar have so many ultimates to work with at the Transcendence, which now will be coming out here. It's just allowing SWoosH to do so much damage without even worrying about the retaliation from C9.
That was a lot of
Movistar is starting to style up on this.
That was a lot of ulti. I don't know how you feel about that, because you saw the Pulse Bomb come in and the Dragon Blade and a Transcendence when they already won the fight.
Maybe the Pulse Bomb was delayed. Because he knows obviously there's, the delay at the moment. Oh, xepheR, I'm sorry. I feel for you, man. I really do. So yeah, Logix probably wants a pulse bomb for Finnsi's grab anyway, so he maybe didn't necessarily need to use it in that last fight, but
so if you're Cloud9 in this situation, you know a grab's up for Finnsi. How do you position yourselves? You have to spread out most likely, but you're running triple tanks, so you want to stay clumped up.
Well, Jason, here's the grab, so we'll have to find out later on. No pulse bomb to follow it up, though. You can see that maybe Movistar hurt them by using so many ultimates. xepheR gets two with that self-destruct. SWoosH and Finnsi both fall. We're into overtime, so C9 need to act quickly, need to get to the point, but they've lost Surefour here. Dante still putting in that big contribution late in the fight to deal with the enemy tracer, and now C9 should be able to roll this in their favor. They've got a huge client to come back from this now. There's no value in Movistar stalling this out at all. They're better off going for a full reset and coming back in to take it by force.
I doubt that was a miscommunication. I think that was just Logix thinking he would get pulse bomb sooner than he actually did. And they did the grab. And
yeah, it's hard to say. It's like, Finnsi, what's your grab? Oh, 80%. Okay, well, I'll use pulse bomb. It could take a while. It does take ages as well for Xayah to charge up her ultimate.
Well, now that you're Movistar, though, I mean, they had 0% when they captured. You can just maybe wait for Graviton depending on how much energy Finnsi can get and how much damage he can actually do in the middle of a fight. You're probably going to lose one or two of these fights just because you know you're at an ult disadvantage. So just stack up your ultimates, make that big push come in, because you have the time. I mean, you have at least 60 seconds, obviously that's a minute, to make something happen, to at least coordinate something in time.
Yeah, they've got time to draw some of this out of C9 as well, but C9 are probably going to be a little bit canny for that. KAISER finds that first pick. Kolsti goes down here, so Movistar are probably just going to back away.
So I'm a little bit scared that Movistar take too long to go for the point, and KAISER earth shatters them as they're trying to come out to make their big move.
Or you mean be too predictable in their positioning, I guess?
Oh, no, and as in, like, they wait till, like 80%, then we're going to go in and make our big push, KAISER, and then Earthshatter comes down.
He wins too many games with Earthshatters as well. It can't be allowed to happen. It's a sound barrier for KAISER, though, with the Emperor's New Groove, and it's the Earthshatter to come down. Brilliant stuff. KAISER now needs to get the damage in, though. He has been nano-boosted. A lot's been invested in him, and Finnsi, his head went that way. His legs went the other. That's going to be nasty. Logix gets that pulse bomb on towards KAISER, but again, that's all the Movistar riders can get. C9 hold.
That was Trance, that was Dragon Blade, that was Pulse Bomb, and they got pretty much nothing for that. Not sure if Soul's Pulse Bomb ready to go. xepheR's going to have his self-destruct. KAISER used the Earthshatter in there just to stall for time a little bit longer. But now we're into the final attack. It was 99-0 here. Do not tell me Movistar are going to blow this one at the end of the game.
Well, I'm not going to tell you anything right now, Jason, but Surefour just with that pulse bomb straight over the edge there as well. Field gold it even. God's missing that hook. He's punished pretty heavily though. Look at the damage that came in. He's got to get the heck out. Pulse bomb dropped now in the middle of C9, but Gods had found Kolsti. That's an important start considering he was being pressured so much, and Roolf's just trying to track him around the screen, but he's got to look after himself. Now, Finnsi has a Graviton Surge. 3 kills come out from Movistar Riders now. It's eaten! xepheR eats up the Graviton Surge. Unbelievable! And he got desuited just after that, if I'm not mistaken. His last moment as D.Va, I think, was just to try and eat that up. That's ridiculous. He gets his mech back now. He's back in it, of course, but it's overtime.
They have to keep stalling. They have to keep him on top of this point. Whoever it's going to be, Gods is trying to use something to the whole hog towards the backline, but gets taken out by SWoosH, and we're still going to have xepheR there, who's actually, I think, desuited at the moment, just about half HP left. SWoosH, again, coming up big, gets himself a double kill. KAISER has Earthshatter, but he's not in a position to use it just yet. He's looking, he's getting knocked around. He doesn't have the opportunity to throw it down, and he does, but he hits nothing, and no one's on the point, and Movistar Riders are going to take Lijang Tower.